Ever wish there was like a blueprint for a richer, more fulfilling life? Well, get this. Today we're diving into a book
Okay.
that claims to have just that.
Right.
It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's earned its classic status for a reason.
No, it really has. It's amazing how this book, published way back in 1937, was basically the OG of self-help.
Right.
And you're right, its principles have influenced some seriously heavy hitters, from presidents
Oh,
to
wow.
business moguls. Andrew Carnegie himself actually had a hand in shaping Hill's thinking.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So what's the big secret? What does
Uh-huh.
Hill say is the key to achieving, well, pretty much anything we set our minds to?
It all starts with desire.
Okay.
But hold on, before you think this is just another get-rich-quick scheme,
Right.
it's way deeper than that.
Okay.
Hill's talking about identifying your core motivators, what truly lights you up,
Uh-huh.
and then using that desire as fuel to propel you forward.
So it's not about being greedy. It's about harnessing the power of your passions, right?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
You have a goal,
Yeah.
but it feels distant, almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Hill argues that if you can ignite a burning desire for that goal,
Okay.
it's like switching on a rocket booster.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're finding creative solutions, pushing past obstacles, and making things happen that you never thought possible.
Okay. I'm starting to see how powerful this could be.
Yeah.
But let's get practical.
Sure.
Hill lays out a 6-step framework for turning desire into concrete results.
Okay.
What's the first step?
The first step is crystallizing your desire
Okay.
into a clear, specific goal.
Uh-huh.
It's not enough to just say, I want to be rich.
Right.
You need a measurable target, like, I want to earn $1 million in the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Or I want to own my own business by the time I'm 30.
Right.
That level of specificity is key.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Vague wishes don't really give you anything to aim for. But a concrete goal, that's something you can build a plan around.
Exactly.
What comes next?
Next, you determine the effort you're willing to invest.
Okay.
Hill was a big believer in going all in, putting in the work, and making sacrifices to achieve your dreams.
So it's about getting real with yourself about what you're willing to give up to get what you want right.
Exactly. And it's not just about hard work, it's about smart work.
Okay.
You need to be strategic and focused in your efforts.
Uh-huh.
The third step is setting a deadline,
Okay.
a date by which you're committed to achieving your goal.
Mm-hmm.
This adds a sense of urgency and helps you stay on track.
Deadlines always light a fire into me.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a goal, a commitment to effort, and a deadline.
Okay.
What's step 4?
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Hill says you need to create a plan,
Okay.
a detailed roadmap for achieving your goal.
Uh-huh.
And this isn't just a mental exercise.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of writing it down.
There's something about putting pen to paper that makes things feel more real,
Yeah.
more actionable, right?
Absolutely. Writing down your plan forces you to think through the steps, identify potential challenges, and create a tangible representation of your vision.
Wow.
And step 5 builds on this. Hill encourages you to read your written plan aloud every single day.
So it's like a daily ritual,
Yeah.
a way to reinforce your commitment and keep your goal top of mind. It's almost like a self-hypnosis technique.
It's about programming your subconscious mind to believe in your goal and work towards it even when you're not consciously thinking about it.
Okay, this is getting really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What's the final step in Hill's framework?
The sixth and final step is all about taking action.
Right.
We've got the desire, the plan, the belief.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to put it all into motion.
Okay.
Hill stresses that action is the bridge between dreams and reality.
But we all know that taking action is easier said than done.
Right.
Procrastination is a real struggle for a lot of people.
That's true, but remember, Hill learned this framework from Andrew Carnegie, who used it to build a steel empire.
Oh, wow.
So it clearly works.
Yeah.
And think about the story of George Hamlet, the veteran, who came up with the brilliant idea for cardboard ads in laundromats.
Oh, yeah.
That all stemmed from a simple desire to find a solution to a problem.
Those are some pretty compelling examples.
Yeah.
So we've got desire fueling our actions.
Right.
But Hill also talks about the importance of mindset, right?
Absolutely. He argues that having a success mindset is crucial.
Okay.
It's about cultivating a deep-seated belief in yourself and your abilities.
That makes sense. You don't believe you can achieve your goals. Why bother putting in the effort?
Right.
But how do we actually develop this kind of unshakable self-belief?
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like magic.
It's not magic,
Okay.
but it does take conscious effort.
Yeah.
Hill was a big proponent of affirmations, repeatedly feeding your subconscious mind with positive statements about your potential and your goals.
Yeah.
It's like training your mind to focus on possibilities instead of limitations.
So instead of saying, I'm not good enough or I'll never be able to do that, you'd say things like, I am capable or I am destined for success.
Exactly. And Hill draws a fascinating parallel with how criminals become desensitized to their actions through repeated exposure.
Wow.
He argues that if you consistently expose your subconscious to positive messages,
Okay.
it will eventually accept them as truth.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah,
So we're rewiring our brains for success, essentially.
exactly.
But what about knowledge?
Yeah.
Surely you need to be super smart to achieve great things right.
That's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Hill actually argues that knowledge alone isn't enough.
Right.
It's what you do with that knowledge that truly matters. He distinguishes between two types of knowledge: general knowledge, which is common sense,
Okay.
and specialized knowledge, which you acquire through focused learning in a specific field.
So just having a PhD doesn't guarantee wealth, but knowing how to use that knowledge to solve a problem or create value might. That makes sense.
Right.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than that.
You're right. Hill goes a step further and highlights the importance of unique insights.
Okay.
These are the aha moments that come from combining knowledge with creative thinking, allowing you to see opportunities that others might miss.
Can you give me an example of what you mean by a unique insight?
Think about the American secretary who helped her son land his dream job.
Okay.
Instead of just listing his skills on a resume, she created a detailed action plan outlining how her son could contribute to the company.
Wow.
It was her unique insight into the hiring process that gave her son a competitive edge.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
So it's not just about what you know, it's about how you apply that knowledge and find creative solutions that set you apart.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered desire, mindset, and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
What else does Hill say is crucial for achieving wealth and success?
Well, this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Hill introduces the concept of imagination.
Okay, imagination. Now, that's something I usually associate with artists and dreamers, not necessarily wealth creation.
Hmm.
How does that fit into Hill's framework?
Hill actually believed that imagination is the wellspring of all wealth-creating ideas. He even breaks it down into two types.
Okay.
Synthetic imagination, which is about taking existing ideas and combining them in new ways, and creative imagination, which is the ability to conceive entirely original concepts.
So let me see if I've got this right.
Okay.
Synthetic imagination would be like, say, combining the convenience of online shopping with the personalization of a stylist to create a virtual wardrobe service.
Exactly. You're taking existing concepts and fusing them into something new and innovative.
Okay.
But creative imagination, that's where things get really interesting.
Right.
Think about the invention of the smartphone.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't just combining existing technologies. It was a whole new paradigm, a completely original concept that revolutionized the way we communicate and interact with the world.
Wow. When you put it that way, it's clear that imagination plays a huge role in shaping the world around us.
Yeah.
But how do we actually cultivate this power of imagination? Is it something we're born with, or can we develop it?
Hill believed that everyone has the capacity for imagination,
Okay.
but it's like a muscle that needs to be exercised and strengthened.
Okay.
He suggests techniques like deliberately exposing yourself to new ideas, engaging in creative activities, and even practicing visualization to stimulate your imaginative faculties.
So if I'm feeling stuck in a rut, I could try visiting an art museum, taking a pottery class, or even just spending time daydreaming about my ideal future.
Exactly. It's about breaking free from the confines of your everyday routine and allowing your mind to wander and explore new possibilities.
Okay.
Hill also believed that imagination is fueled by a burning desire.
Right.
When you're truly passionate about something, your mind naturally starts generating creative solutions and innovative ideas.
That makes sense. Passion seems to be a common thread running through all of Hill's principles. It's like the driving force behind everything.
Absolutely. And here's where Hill introduces another fascinating concept.
Okay.
The mastermind group.
The mastermind groups.
He believed that surrounding yourself with a group of like-minded, supportive individuals could amplify your creativity and accelerate your progress toward your goals.
So it's like the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right.
But Hill takes it a step further by suggesting that this group should be intentionally formed with the specific purpose of achieving great things.
Exactly. He believed that the collective intelligence and shared energy of a mastermind group
Okay.
could create a synergistic effect, propelling each member to greater heights than they could achieve on their own.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
It's like having a built-in support system, a team of cheerleaders and advisors who are all invested in your success. Are there any real-life examples of mastermind groups in action?
Think about historical figures like Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh, well, okay.
He was able to mobilize millions of people and achieve incredible social change
Right.
through his leadership and the power of collective action.
Right.
While it might not have been called a mastermind group back then, the principle is the same.
That's a powerful example.
Yeah.
It shows how the combined efforts of a group of dedicated individuals can create a ripple effect that extends far beyond their immediate circle.
Absolutely. And even in a more modern context, think about the rise of online communities and collaborative workspaces.
Oh, yeah.
These platforms allow people with shared interests and goals to connect,
Yeah,
support each other, and achieve extraordinary things together.
that's a great point. It seems like Hill's concept of the mastermind group is more relevant than ever in today's interconnected world.
It certainly is. And as we delve deeper into Hill's philosophy, we'll see how this principle of collaboration and collective intelligence plays a crucial role in unlocking your full potential.
Okay, we've got desire mindset, knowledge imagination, and now the power of the mastermind group.
Right.
Hill's framework is really starting to come together.
Yeah.
What else does he say is essential for achieving wealth and success?
This is where things get even more intriguing.
Okay.
Hill introduces the concept of the sixth sense,
The sixth sense.
a sort of intuitive knowing that goes beyond our 5 physical senses.
That sounds a bit mysterious. How does intuition play a role in wealth creation?
Hill believed that this intuitive faculty, when properly developed, could guide individuals toward opportunities and help them make sound decisions, almost like a built-in radar for success.
But isn't relying solely on intuition risky?
Yeah.
How do we balance intuition with logic and data-driven decision-making?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
While Hill saw immense value in the sixth sense, he didn't advocate throwing logic out the window. Instead, he believed that it was about honing your intuition to work in harmony with your rational mind, creating a powerful synergy for making smart choices. He suggests that the sixth sense can be stimulated by things like a burning desire,
Okay.
love, music, friendship, and even the influence of a mastermind group.
So it's not just about having a gut feeling. It's about cultivating that sense of inner knowing through a combination of passion, positive emotions, and supportive relationships.
Precisely. Hill even suggests that the sixth sense can be accessed through a sort of meditative practice,
Okay.
similar to the technique used by Dr. Elmer Gates, a prolific American inventor.
Right.
He would sit in a dimly lit, soundproof room to intensely focus on his inventive ideas.
So it's about creating a space for quiet contemplation where your mind can wander freely and connect with that deeper intuitive wisdom.
Exactly. Hill believed that this kind of practice could help individuals tap into their creative potential and generate innovative ideas.
Okay.
Now, I know this might all sound a bit abstract,
Right.
but consider the story of Andrew Yang, the entrepreneur and former presidential candidate.
Okay.
He often talks about how he relies on both data and his gut feeling when making important decisions.
So he's not just crunching numbers. He's also listening to that inner voice, that intuitive nudge that might be telling him something the data isn't revealing.
Exactly. In fact, he credits his intuition for his decision to withdraw from the 2020 presidential race,
Oh, wow.
even though data suggested he still had a chance. While we can't definitively say that was his sixth sense at work,
Right.
it does highlight the power of intuition in decision-making.
That's a pretty compelling example. Okay, so we've got desire, mindset, knowledge, imagination, the power of the mastermind group, and now this intriguing concept of the sixth sense.
Yeah.
It's amazing how Hill weaves all of these seemingly disparate ideas into a comprehensive philosophy for success.
It truly is. But remember, even with all these tools at our disposal, we still need to take action.
Right.
And that's where creativity comes in.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I love exploring the creative process,
Right.
but I have to admit, sometimes I feel like I'm just not a naturally creative person.
Hill would argue that creativity is a skill that can be cultivated just like any other.
Okay.
He suggests several techniques for stimulating your creative juices.
So what are some of those techniques? Because I think a lot of people feel like creativity is this elusive thing. Like you either have it or you don't.
One of the most powerful techniques Hill recommends is tapping into the power of your subconscious mind.
Okay.
He believed our emotions play a huge role here.
Right.
Negative emotions like fear and anxiety can actually block our creative flow, while positive emotions open us up to new ideas and possibilities.
So if I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it's going to be harder to come up with innovative solutions.
Exactly. When we're in a negative state, our subconscious tends to fixate on limitations,
Right.
but when we're feeling optimistic and enthusiastic, it's more likely to generate those aha moments. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about cultivating genuine feelings of joy, excitement, and even gratitude.
It all ties back to mindset, doesn't it? That positive outlook seems to be key for unlocking so much of our potential.
It really does. Lil even suggested that positive emotions can enhance our intuition, making us more receptive to those subtle insights that can lead to breakthroughs.
Okay, so managing our emotions is key. What other creativity-boosting techniques does Hill recommend?
He talks about something called autosuggestion,
Autosuggestion.
which is essentially using affirmations,
Okay.
but specifically focused on stimulating creativity.
So if I'm working on a creative project, I might repeat affirmations like, I am overflowing with creative ideas, or I am a magnet for inspiration.
Exactly. It's about programming your subconscious to believe in your creative abilities, almost like planting seeds of inspiration.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're creating a mental environment that nurtures our creativity. What else can we do to foster that growth?
His Hill also recommends actively seeking out experiences that spark your imagination. That could be anything from reading books and listening to music to visiting art museums or simply spending time in nature.
So it's about exposing yourself to new ideas and perspectives, constantly feeding your mind with inspiration.
Precisely. The more we expand our horizons, the more creative we become. But let's be real, even with all the best techniques, we all hit those creative roadblocks sometimes.
Right.
We feel stuck, uninspired, and just plain blah. Ugh.
Tell me about it. What does Hill suggest for overcoming those creative slumps?
He actually provides a really interesting technique for dealing with creative blocks, which he calls the invisible counselors technique.
Invisible counselors. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What's that all about?
It's a mental exercise where you imagine yourself having a conversation with a group of your biggest heroes, people who embody the qualities and achievements you aspire to.
So like if I dream of being a successful entrepreneur, I might imagine myself chatting with Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey.
Exactly. You can choose anyone who inspires you, living or dead, real or fictional. The idea is to tap into their wisdom and guidance.
But how does that actually help with a creative block? It sounds a bit like daydreaming.
Here's the thing. By engaging in this imaginary conversation, you're forcing yourself to think differently.
Okay.
You're stepping into the mindset of someone who has already achieved what you desire, almost like trying on their perspective for size.
So it's about shifting your perspective and gaining access to a whole new level of thinking.
Exactly. You're essentially accessing the knowledge, experience, and creative problem-solving abilities of your invisible counselors.
That's so clever. It's like having a personal board of advisors, but they exist only in your imagination.
Wow.
There's so much depth to this book. It's amazing how Hill was able to connect these seemingly disparate concepts, desire, mindset, intuition, creativity, into a unified philosophy for success.
It truly is a remarkable work. And while some of his ideas might seem unconventional, there's no denying the impact Think and Grow Rich has had on countless individuals over the years.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts. What are the biggest takeaways we can glean from Hill's work?
I think one of the most important takeaways is that success is not about luck or circumstance.
Right.
It's about conscious effort, deliberate action, and a willingness to cultivate the right mindset.
So it's not about waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap. It's about creating your own opportunities.
Precisely. And Hill's book provides a roadmap for doing just that.
Right.
He shows us the power of setting clear goals,
Yeah.
developing a strong belief in ourselves, harnessing the power of our subconscious minds, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences.
It's about taking ownership of your success and not leaving it up to chance.
Absolutely. And another key takeaway is that wealth is not just about money.
Right.
Hill believed that true wealth encompasses all aspects of life, including health, relationships, and personal fulfillment.
So it's about creating a rich, meaningful life, not just a fat bank account.
Exactly. And that's a message that's more relevant than ever today. In a world that often feels obsessed with material possessions, it's a powerful reminder that true wealth is about so much more.
I love that. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest desires and values, and then taking consistent action to make those dreams a reality.
Well said. And for our listener, if there's one idea from Think and Grow Rich they can start applying today, it's to reflect on their own burning desire, that one thing that truly sets their soul on fire.
And then take that first step, no matter how small, because every action counts.
Exactly. As Hill reminds us, desire is the starting point of all achievement. Not a hope, not a wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything.
Powerful words. Well, folks, we've just scratched the surface of Think and Grow Rich. There's so much more to explore in this book, but hopefully this deep dive has sparked some inspiration and given you some actionable tools to start creating the life you truly desire.
I encourage you to pick up a copy and dive into Hill's wisdom for yourself. You might be surprised at the transformative power it holds.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. Imagine yourself a year from now. What would your life look like if you fully embraced the principles of Think and Grow Rich? What goals would you achieve? What dreams would you realize? The power to create that reality is within you.
It all starts with a thought, a desire, a belief in your own potential.
And then it's about taking actions, surrounding yourself with the right people, and cultivating the mindset and habits that will propel you towards success.
Think and Grow Rich isn't just a book. It's a blueprint for a richer, more fulfilling life. And the beauty of it is that it's available to anyone who's willing to put in the effort.
So go out there, embrace the principles we've discussed, and start creating the life you truly desire. Until next time, keep thinking, keep growing, and keep diving deep.